Hey folks, Kevin here. Well, it's June 25th, 2018. I'm out in the western garden, the garden without any weed mats in it yet, and that we do the overhead irrigation. And it has the leeks in it. It has, what else we have? We have corn over here, we have carrots, we have beans down there in the trellises, and we have some other herbs, and we have some potted perennials as well. And in this garden, there are no weed mats. There are the wood chips surrounding the beds. And with the overhead irrigation, we're trying to make sure that the carrots germinate appropriately. I've been turning on the overhead irrigation a couple times a day. And with a wet surface to the soil, that interferes with our effective cultivation, getting rid of the weeds and all. And that's what I'm out here doing today. The carrots have emerged. Pretty soon I'm going to be putting down drip tape and taking out the overhead irrigation. But the weeds had gotten a good start in the two leek beds. So we had lamb's quarter, some grass, some clover, and some Pennsylvania smartweed, and a couple other small weeds as well in there. But lots of lamb's quarter. There was a couple inches high in height. A couple other weeds that were plantain and all that really stuck down its roots further. It's a perennial, and it must have missed those before. And so I decided, okay, since the carrot seeds have emerged, I'll let the soil dry out a little bit today. It's afternoon now. The surface of the soil is pretty dry. And recently I ordered a new tool, and that's the tool I have in my hand. How did I know about ordering this tool? Well, one person that I follow whenever he produces a YouTube video or has a webinar, it's Jean-Martin Fortier, the author of The Market Gardener. He's been a successful entrepreneur and has made a very substantial income for his family on I just think a 1.5 or 3 acre parcel of land, and he lives a very good life. Now he's very much in demand because he's doing research in a larger facility, and he's speaking all over the world. And the research that he's doing at this facility allows him the opportunity to do something that he really excels at, is to do investigation and look at new tools. And this webinar that he produced a couple of months ago demonstrated, what he did was he demonstrated some of the tools that he used. Now, for weeding, for the last few years, two tools that I really have fallen in love with are the stirrup hoe, and I have a couple of different sizes and a few of them. And that's the tool that I talk about, keeping it sharpened all the time. And the collinear hoe. Eliot Coleman developed the collinear hoe, and most of the tools that I use I've gotten from that for cultivation that I've just mentioned, I've gotten from Johnny Seeds. And those two tools have been my favorite. But with drip irrigation, I found that, geez, I have to be really careful with the stirrup hose, because I can easily slice into the drip irrigation, and you have to be pretty careful around some of the plants that you're weeding around, because you can easily slice into them. So it really it requires a great deal of attention. One thing that I don't like about the stirrup hose are the relatively short handles. So they're not as ergonomically designed as Eliot Coleman's the collinear hoe. So I like that because you can maintain a more upright posture. So now to this new tool. During the webinar, Jean-Martin Fortier introduced this tool. He just mentioned it, and mentioned the company, Two Bad Cats. And recently I said, well, I've got to go ahead and try out this tool that Jean-Martin had talked about. And so this Two Bad Cats hoe, and they have several different tools, and I'm probably going to get their dibblers as well to see how I like those tools. But this tool I just used for the first time. Now I bought two of these. One is the long-handled one, and as you could see, it's a very long handle. It's a 6-foot handle, and it has a a non-sharp wire that does the actual work of weeding your garden beds. They make a short handle, a single handle, short handle for our raised beds where we walk around the beds that are waist high or that we kneel on, that really works with the same tool. Now I haven't used that yet, but I just used this one a few minutes ago. This tool, it's lightweight, it's aluminum. I don't necessarily love aluminum tools, but this one is designed very, very well, and because of the adjustable end, which can take different wires on the end of it, and there are 3 different wires that I got for this. This is the only one I've used thus far, and so far I love it. I'll just mention that. But over the aluminum where you're going to be grabbing a hold of, there's a nice cushiony foam-like material that's very comfortable for your hands to hold on to. And the handle's long enough that when you're reaching across the bed, you're not bending over all the time, and then you find yourself trying to straighten up and not hurt yourself or strain yourself. So I'll show a little bit of video footage. Hopefully I recorded some of me going down these beds. Now again, on the sides, this is all wood chips, so this wire catches on it. But you can, with this material, you can go right over your plants like the leeks. I bumped right into them, didn't cut into them, but it really did a great job at pulling up the lamb's quarter, the grasses, the clover, the Pennsylvania smartweed, and some plantain, some small plantain that had started as well. And I went through a few beds down here really quickly, and it works extremely well. The thing about this is it can slip up underneath a drip tape or go right over it, and you don't have to worry about it getting dulled, and you don't have to sharpen it as well. I'm not sponsored by Two Bad Cats, but if the rest of their tools are as good a design as this one, I'd love to work with them at some time. They've really got some great tools. Their hand tool feels really good. I'll do a more comprehensive review later on in the season after I've had these tools for a while and have done some serious weeding as well. So I just wanted to give you this heads up on this tool. I'll play a little bit of footage and all. The GoPro, the GoPro and this camera, I tried seeing if the images would show up and see what you think. So if this video was of value, please give it a thumbs up. Ask any questions, leave any comments. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed. Hit the bell icon if you want to be notified when we post more videos. And by all means, folks, have a fantastic day. Bye-bye now.